అనేది ఉంటుంది.
ప్రస్తుతం
ఇక్కడే పిహెచ్డీ చేశాను. ఇక్కడే ఇప్పుడు నేను ప్రస్తుతం రీసెర్చ్ అసోసియేట్గా ఉన్నాను. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ఏ గైడ్, ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ఏ సూపర్వైజర్, ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ఏ ఫ్యాకల్టీ మెంబర్. అండ్ ఐ ఫినిష్డ్ మై పిహెచ్డీ ఇన్ 2011.
సబ్జెక్ట్ సార్
కెమిస్ట్రీ. యాక్చువల్లీ సార్ ఈ సెంటర్లో కెమిస్ట్రీ ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఇవ్వట్లేదు. నో కెమిస్ట్రీ ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఇవ్వరు. అసోసియేటెడ్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఉన్నారు. అంటే వాళ్ళు దే ఆర్ ఇన్ ద అదర్ స్కూల్, దే మే వర్క్ ఫర్ దిస్ సెంటర్. సో ఆయన వెంకటేష్ ఆయన 2011 జూన్లో ఇక్కడ జూలై అడ్మిషన్ తీసుకున్నాడు ఇక్కడ. అంటే ఎంట్రన్స్ క్లియర్ చేసిన తర్వాత, ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్లియర్ చేసిన తర్వాత అది రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ కిందకి వస్తుంది. అంటే సార్ మీరు అడగండి. ఎంట్రన్స్ క్లియర్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్లియర్ చేసేస్తే రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అయిపోయినట్టే.
అప్పుడు సూపర్వైజర్ ప్రాబ్లం ఫస్ట్
డూరింగ్
ఈ ప్రాబ్లం
మీకు అన్నీ చెప్తాను. చెప్పండి. 2009లో అడ్మిషన్ తీసుకున్నాడు ఆయన. కెమిస్ట్రీ ఫ్యాకల్టీ మెంబర్ వాజ్ సపోజ్ టు గైడ్ హిమ్, వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫ్యాకల్టీ మెంబర్స్. Unfortunately, nobody has taken him. And the final, the solution is ultimately HOD has to take care of the student. HOD means that is director. Director is physicist. He cannot supervise anybody. He cannot supervise chemistry student.
సూపర్వైజర్ లేకుండా ఎంతకాలం ఉందన్నా?
సూపర్వైజర్ లేదంటే ఇంకా ప్రాపర్ సూపర్వైజర్ లేడు ఇప్పటి వరకు.
మొదటి నుంచి
అసోసియేట్ ఉన్నారు, ఇప్పుడు కూడా ఉన్నారు.
లెటిన్స్ మీరు కంప్లీట్గా చెప్పండి స్టూడెంట్.
ఆయన ఫిజిక్స్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ కాబట్టి నన్ను ఏం చేశానంటే కొంచెం హెల్ప్ చేయి మీ అబ్బాయే కదా అంటే, ఓకే సార్ మా అబ్బాయికి నేను హెల్ప్ చేయకుంటే ఇంకెవరు చేస్తారని చెప్పాను. సో సమ్హౌ ఐ యూస్ టు హెల్ప్ హిమ్ టిల్ ప్రొఫెసర్ తివారీ రిటైర్డ్. దట్ ఈజ్ అప్ టు మే
2013.
తర్వాత న్యూ డైరెక్టర్ హ్యాస్ టు టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ ద స్టూడెంట్.
మీరు చెప్పారు కదా మీ అబ్బాయి అలా చెప్పింది
యాక్చువల్గా ఈజ్ ఏ మైనారిటీ క్యాండిడేట్. యాక్చువల్లీ ఇన్ దట్ కోటా ఓన్లీ. యాక్చువల్లీ ఈయన ఎస్సీ క్యాండిడేట్ ఆ కోటాలో వచ్చాడు. ఆయన స్పెషలైజేషన్ డిఫరెంట్ ఉంది. నో కెమిస్ట్రీ ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఈజ్ విల్లింగ్ టు టేక్ బికాస్ ఈజ్ అనలిటికల్ కెమిస్ట్. వాట్ ఎవర్ ద ఫ్యాకల్టీ మెంబర్స్ వీ హ్యావ్ హియర్, దే ఆర్ నాట్ అనలిటికల్ కెమిస్ట్. They cannot do analytical chemistry work. And also Venkatesh cannot do other subjects also, other research areas like organic chemistry, physical chemistry or inorganic chemistry. So he was assigned to work on analytical chemistry work only. And he was working and I used to help him. That's it. I used to help him whenever he used to come. That's it. My role is to help him. I am not a supervisor, I am not a guide. And whatever he has whatever he has done, I have analyzed, I made it a beautiful presentation, I got him for publication for his credit. So my expectation was that at least with this paper somebody will come forward to help him to get his degree. And this is yes.
అడ్మిషన్ అయినప్పటి నుంచి అతను ఫేస్ చేసిన ప్రాబ్లమ్ టిల్ ఎండ్ వరకు ఏమేమి ఒక ముఖ్యమైన సంఘటన కొన్ని చెప్తే సరిపోతుంది. అంటే ఏమేమి ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వచ్చాయి, ఎట్లా ఫేస్ చేసి, అందులో మీ పాత్ర ఏంటి, లేదంటే బీసీ పాత్ర ఏంటి, డైరెక్టర్ పాత్ర ఏంటి, ఈ ప్రశ్నలు ఏం అవసరం లేదు, మీరు టోటల్గా చెప్పేయండి. ఏమైనా ప్రశ్నలు ఉంటే అందరు రాసుకోండి, తర్వాత కంప్లీట్
He approached all the faculty members more than 6-7 times, but nobody was willing to take him. So when new director has come, he is a chemist actually. He met him also 6 months back. And sir told that give me some time, I will assign you guide. He told to Venkatesh. And finally, up to this last week Friday also he met sir, our director. And after that I did not see him. Friday I have seen him when he had come to meet him. And the last 6-7 months he was not coming regularly. And he used to come to me thrice in a month. Thrice in a month he used to come. We can understand also because no supervisor, no lab and all. That's why he used to come twice or thrice in a month. So last Friday he came to me, he met our director. After that I don't know what has happened, what he spoke with the director, that I don't know.
But you suspect something he spoke to director and director told something?
I cannot say so because I don't know truth.
Now, was he suffering from any other problem with academics?
Academic ante supervisor problem.
Serious problem?
It is administration problem.
Doctoral committee on that.
Yes, it should be there. Actually,
It is not there.
There is no doctoral committee. There are no doctoral committee members.
3 ఏళ్ళు ఫెలోషిప్ పెట్టించారు డాక్టరల్ కమిటీలో.
యాక్చువల్గా ఒక రూల్ ఏంటంటే ఎవరు తీసుకున్నప్పుడు హెచ్ఓడి టేక్ కేర్ తీసుకోవాలన్నమాట. అప్పుడు ఆయన పెట్టాడు అన్ని సంతకాలను.
ఓకే.
అయితే ఒకటి ఆయన అనలిటికల్ కెమిస్ట్రీ అని చెప్పారు, మీరు కొంత హెల్ప్ చేసింది. మీదేమైనా అనలిటికల్ కెమిస్ట్రీ?
నేను ఆర్గానిక్ కెమిస్ట్రీ. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఆర్గానిక్ కెమిస్ట్రీ యాక్చువల్గా ఆయనే చేసాడు వర్క్ అంటే నేను కొంచెం హెల్ప్ చేశాను.
ఈ 3 ఏళ్ళు సూపర్వైజర్ లేకుండా డాక్టర్
3 ఏళ్ళు అని చెప్పకూడదు, 2.5 years
ఎవరు లేకుండా.
అంటే ఇప్పుడు వరకు అయితే రేపు డిసెంబర్కి అయితే 2.5 years అవుతుంది.
ఈ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ ఎప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ చేశారు?
2005లో వచ్చింది.
అప్పటి నుంచి ఎంత ఎస్సీస్ వాళ్ళు, ఎస్సీ ఎస్టీ వాళ్ళు, ఓబీసీ వాళ్ళు ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్?
తివారీ రిజైన్ చేసిన తర్వాత
రీసెంట్ అని చెప్పకూడదు, రిటైర్డ్ అయిపోయింది.
మన వెంకటేష్
యాక్చువల్లీ సార్ డైరెక్టర్ లేడు మాకు. డైరెక్టర్ లేనప్పుడు ఇంకా ఏ డిసిషన్స్ ఎవరు ఏం తీసుకోలేదు కదా. హెచ్ఓడి లేనప్పుడు నోబడి విల్ టేక్ ఎనీ డిసిషన్. సో ఈ వాజ్ అండర్ హోల్డ్. సార్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత అవన్నీ చూశాడు. ఇంకా
ఏ సార్
అంటే కొత్త డైరెక్టర్ వచ్చింది.
కొత్త డైరెక్టర్ వచ్చి ఎంత సంవత్సరం?
ఆయన July 3rd weekలో వచ్చినట్టు.
ఈ ఇయర్ 2013.
అంతకుముందు డైరెక్టర్ ప్రొఫెసర్ తివారీ.
ప్రొఫెసర్ తివారీ 2 years ఫిజిక్స్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ డీన్ కూడా తెలుసు.
2 years కాదమ్మా, అన్ని సత్యాలు మాట్లాడారు. 1 year ఉన్నారు. 1 year కూడా 9 months ఉన్నాం.
ఎప్పుడు అది ఎప్పుడు
అంటే ఆయన 12లో వెళ్ళిపోయాడు అక్కడ. తర్వాత ఈ మధ్యలో మేలోనో జూన్లో రిటైర్డ్. డైరెక్టర్
అంటే 2 years 1 year మాత్రం డైరెక్టర్ ఉన్నారు, 1 సంవత్సరం డైరెక్టర్ అవ్వలేదు. అంటే తివారీ దీన్ని డైరెక్టర్ పనిచేసి 1 సంవత్సరం మాత్రమే.
ఇక్కడ ఎంతమంది ప్రొఫెసర్లు ఉన్నారు, ఎంతమంది రీడర్స్ ఉన్నారు?
ప్రస్తుతానికి అయితే ప్రొఫెసర్, ఇప్పుడు డైరెక్టర్ యాజ్ ఏ ప్రొఫెసర్, అసోసియేట్ 2 ఉన్నారు, 4 అసిస్టెంట్ ప్రొఫెసర్.
అందులో రిజర్వేషన్ ఉందా?
అంటే నేను ఎప్పుడు ఆ విషయాలన్నీ అడగలేదు.
మళ్ళీ మీకు తెలుసు కదా, అడగొద్దు, తెలుసు కదా మీకు.
రిజర్వేషన్ అయితే లేదు.
5 ఏళ్ల నుంచి రిజర్వేషన్ లేదు.
రిజర్వేషన్ లేదు. మళ్ళీ స్టూడెంట్స్ ఇక్కడ ఎంఏ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఏమీ లేదు కదా, రీసెర్చ్ మాత్రమే. రీసెర్చ్ ఎన్ని ఎస్సీ వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు?
ఆ డేటా నాకు తెలియదు.
మీ స్టూడెంట్స్ ఫ్రెండ్స్ తెలుసు కదా, మీ మన వాళ్ళని కూడా చెప్పారు కదా.
ఈ వెంకటేష్ చనిపోవడానికి మీరేం కారణం భావిస్తారు?
సార్ గైడ్ అనేది తప్పనిసరి కావాలి సార్. గైడ్ అనేది తప్పనిసరి కావాలి.
మరి తివారీ రిజైన్ అయిన తర్వాత, రిటైర్డ్ అయిన తర్వాత ఆయన పరిస్థితి గురించి ఎవరైనా పట్టించుకునే అవకాశం ఉండేది?
యాక్చువల్లీ సార్ ఆ తర్వాత కూడా వెంకటేష్ చాలా మందిని కలిశాడండి, కెమిస్ట్రీ వాళ్ళని కలిశాడు. ఎందుకంటే సూపర్వైజర్ లేకపోవడం అనేది ఒక ఫాదర్ లేకుండా ఉండడం అన్నమాట. అంటే అన్ని విషయాలు సైనిక ఆయన కావాలి, ఏదైనా సమస్య చెప్పుకోవాలని, ఏదైనా డిస్కస్ చేసుకోవాలనే సూపర్వైజర్ కావాలి. సో అప్పుడు ఇంకా ఏం చేస్తారు సార్, రిటైర్డ్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఇక్కడే డైరెక్టర్ లేడు అసైన్ చేయడానికి. డైరెక్టర్ లేకపోతే
డైరెక్టర్ ఎందుకు లేడు ఇక్కడ?
అంటే సార్ అది
అయితే
అదంతా అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ ప్రాబ్లం అవుతుంది. డైరెక్టర్ లేదంటే మనకు సంబంధించి
మనకి ఇప్పుడు ఒకటి వెంకటేష్ చనిపోవడానికి మనందరికి ఎంత బాధ్యత ఉందో డైరెక్ట్ లేకపోవడం కూడా ఆయనకు ఒక కారణమే కదా. అందుకని డైరెక్టర్ కూడా ఎందుకు లేడు అనేది మన ప్రశ్నే. డైరెక్టర్ ఉంటే ఆయన డైరెక్టర్ అప్లై చేయవాడు కదా.
యూనివర్సిటీ ఆఫ్ హైదరాబాద్ వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్ డైరెక్టర్ ఆఫ్ ACRHEM.
అదే చెప్పండి, డైరెక్టర్
ఇన్ఛార్జ్
ఎవరైతే రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ డైరెక్టర్ ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళ పేరు చెప్పండి. వాళ్ళు రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ అవుతారు ఈ మర్డర్కి, అంతే కదా. ఇప్పుడు మీరు అన్నారు కదా, తండ్రి లేకపోతే కొడుకు అడుక్కు తింటాడు, వాడు లేకపోతే చచ్చిపోతాడు. దాని బాధ్యత తండ్రే కదా. తండ్రే కదా. ఇప్పుడు తండ్రి కొడుకు అడుక్కు తిన్నా, బిచ్చగాడైనా, వాడు ట్రైనింగ్ పోయి చచ్చిపోయినా, ఎవడు కొట్టి చంపినా కానీ తండ్రే బాధ్యత. మరి ఆ తండ్రి లేని ప్లేస్ ఎవరు భర్తీ చేయాలి?
సార్ అది ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళు రిక్రూట్ చేయాలి బయట.
అది ఆ పాయింట్ రావాలి. ఎందుకు రిక్రూట్ చేయాలి
ఆ విషయాలు అంటే
ఎంప్లాయ్ కూడా కాదు అక్కడ.
అంటే మీ నోటీస్ అవుతుంది కదా.
అది
అదే
సార్ అయితే ఇప్పుడు మన తివారీ గారి దగ్గర మన వెంకటేశ్వర ఒక్కడైనా లేకపోతే మిగతా స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడా గైడ్ ఉన్నారా? స్టూడెంట్స్ కొంతమంది
సార్ రిటైర్డ్ అయ్యే లోపల ఆయన దగ్గర 3 స్టూడెంట్స్ ఉన్నారు.
మరి ఈయన కంటే గైడ్ లేదు కాబట్టి మిగతా వాళ్ళు నలుగురు అంటే వెంకటేశ్వర కాకుండా ఇంకా ముగ్గురు ఉన్నారు.
వెంకటేష్ ఏంటంటే కెమిస్ట్రీ కదా, మిగతా వాళ్ళంటే ఫిజిక్స్ ఏరియాలో కాబట్టి నో ప్రాబ్లం.
ముగ్గురు ఫిజిక్స్ ఏరియా.
టోటల్ స్ట్రెంత్ ఎంత స్టూడెంట్స్ ఇక్కడ రీసెర్చ్? 40. ఎన్ని ఎస్సీస్ ఉన్నారు దాంట్లో మీకు తెలిసే ఫ్రెండ్స్లో మన వాళ్ళు?
అదే నేను మీకు ఇప్పుడే చెప్పినట్టున్నాను, ఎవరు ముందుకు రాకపోతే హెచ్ఓడి
సబ్జెక్ట్ మారిపోతుంది.
అది కరెక్టే సార్, మీరు అడిగిన క్వశ్చన్ మంచిదే. కానీ ఇప్పుడు ఎవరు లేనప్పుడు
ఒకటి ఈయన ఎంతో మంది ఫ్యాకల్టీలతో కలిసి రిక్వెస్ట్ చేసుకున్నారు కదా, ఫ్యాకల్టీలు ఎందుకు ముందుకు రాదు? ఎందుకు ఈయన మీకు గైడ్గా ఉంటామన్నట్టు ఎందుకు చెప్పారు?
ఎస్సీ కాబట్టి రాదు.
లేదు కారణం వాళ్ళు చెప్పారు.
ఆలోచన వాళ్ళకి ఎందుకు తట్టలేదు? అరే పాపం 2.5 సంవత్సరాల నుంచి గైడ్ లేకుండా తిరుగుతున్నాడు కదా, మరి ఎట్లాగా ఈయన వచ్చి మనకు అందరికీ రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాడు, మళ్ళీ మనం ఎందుకు గైడ్ చేయకూడదు అన్నట్టు అనుకున్నాడు.
సార్ యాక్చువల్గా ఇప్పుడు మా ఫ్యాకల్టీ మెంబర్స్ అందరూ కూడా ఇన్ఆర్గానిక్ కెమిస్ట్రీ, ఆర్గానిక్ కెమిస్ట్రీ వాళ్ళే ఉన్నారు. ఈయనేమో అనలిటికల్ కెమిస్ట్రీ. దే ఆర్ నాట్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్.
అంటే ఫిజిక్స్ సంబంధించినటువంటి తివారీ చెప్పగలిగి వీళ్ళు ఎందుకు ముందుకు రాలేదు? ఇప్పుడు టోటల్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ఇప్పుడు అసలు కెమిస్ట్రీ కానీ సబ్జెక్టే కానిటువంటి ఫిజిక్స్ చూసే అతను ముందుకు వచ్చి చెప్తున్నాడు కదా, మరి కెమిస్ట్రీలో భాగంగా ఉన్నటువంటి వాళ్ళు ఎందుకు ముందుకు రాలేదు?
యాక్చువల్లీ సార్ ఇప్పుడు మీరే డైరెక్టర్ ఉన్నారనుకోండి, హెచ్ఓడి ఉన్నారనుకోండి, యూ కెన్ నాట్ ఫోర్స్ ఎనీబడి. యూ కెన్ ఆస్క్ హిమ్ ఆర్ యూ కెన్ రిక్వెస్ట్ హిమ్ టు హెల్ప్ దిస్ కాల్. కరెక్ట్. వాళ్ళు ఎందుకు ముందుకు రాలేదు అంటున్నారు, దానికి ఆన్సర్ నేను చెప్తున్నాను. డైరెక్టర్ మైట్ హ్యావ్ ఆస్క్డ్ దెమ్ ఆర్ రిక్వెస్టెడ్ దెమ్ టు హెల్ప్, బట్ దే హ్యావ్ నాట్ హెల్ప్.
ఇక్కడ మనకు ఒక సమస్య పరిష్కారం కావాలి సార్. ఏదో మొక్కుబడిగా అడిగేసి ఊరుకున్నాం అన్నట్టు కాదు. ఒక స్టూడెంట్ కు 2.5 సంవత్సరాల నుంచి గైడ్ లేదు, అది సమస్య అనిపిస్తుంది కదా. అతను తిరుగుతా ఉన్నాడు, ఎవరైనా దొరుకుతారేమో అన్నట్టుగా తిరుగుతా ఉన్నాడు, వాళ్ళకి అడుగుతున్నాడు, వీళ్ళకి అడుగుతున్నాడు. మీకు ఇది సమస్య అనిపించడం లేదా?
సమస్య
గైడ్లు లేకుండా ఇంకా ఎంతమంది స్టూడెంట్స్ ఇక్కడ ఉన్నారు?
ప్రస్తుతానికి
రెగ్యులర్ ఎంప్లాయీ కాదన్నారు, అన్అఫీషియల్ గానే ఆయన
ఎందుకంటే అక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ పిల్లలు వాళ్ళ ల్యాబ్లోనే 8 మంది
ఓకే
కెమిస్ట్రీ అసోసియేట్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఇక్కడ వర్క్ చేస్తారు.
అవును.
ఒక్కొక్కరికి ఆల్రెడీ అక్కడ వాళ్ళ స్టూడెంట్సే 8 మెంబర్స్ వరకు ఉన్నారు. అయితే వాళ్ళకి ఆల్రెడీ బర్డెన్ ఉంది అక్కడ కెమిస్ట్రీ నుంచి, ఎక్స్ట్రా ఇక్కడ తీసుకొని వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఆల్రెడీ ఇక్కడ పిల్లలు కూడా తీసుకున్నారు వాళ్ళు కొంతమంది. ఈ అబ్బాయిని తీసుకోవడానికి కష్టమైపోయింది.
ఎందుకన్నట్టు
ఆల్రెడీ 8 మంది తీసుకున్నారు. ఒక్కొక్కరి దగ్గరికి ల్యాబ్లలో 7-8 మంది ఉన్నారు. ఒక టేబుల్ మీద ఎక్విప్మెంట్స్ పెట్టాలంటే ఒక అబ్బాయి ఇద్దరు చేయగలరు, ఒకటేసారి 4 చేయలేరు కదా.
ఓకే
అని తీసుకోలేదు.
మరి ఇప్పుడు ఈ అబ్బాయి ఏ ల్యాబ్లో పనిచేశాడు ఇంతకుముందు? అట్లా ఇప్పుడు ల్యాబ్ లేదు కదా, ఇప్పుడు ల్యాబ్లో ఎవరి కింద చేయట్లేదు అంటే ల్యాబ్ లేదు. ఏ ల్యాబ్లో పనిచేశాడు ఈ అబ్బాయి?
అంటే ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ బేస్డ్ వర్క్ చేశారు.
ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ అది తన రూమేనా?
అంటే అది ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంటేషన్ రూమ్, ఆయన వర్క్ దానికి రిలేటెడ్.
ఏ ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్స్ అది నుంచి కూడా
ఇక్కడ మాట్లాడండి లేదా అక్కడ మాట్లాడండి.
కెమిస్ట్రీ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్
భయ్యా
Was he free to use those labs?
yes.
Like, అంటే కొంచెం ఏ సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ రిస్ట్రిక్షన్స్ లేవాలి కదా ల్యాబ్స్ యూజ్ చేయడానికి? ఏ టైంలో అన్నా రావచ్చు, ఎప్పుడైనా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు.
But is there any rule for a lab? Like for example, they allot a computer for me and they say this is the time you can work. So nothing like that.
24 hours.
24 hours.
No, ఇప్పుడు ఆయన ఎవరు
There. In 3 labs, which lab you use often?
అది లేజర్ ల్యాబ్.
Listen, so that there is a particular lab you choose. That everybody chooses one particular lab. Not randomly you go to any lab.
సార్
What subject ke lab?
ఫిజిక్స్ వాళ్ళు ఫిజిక్స్ ఏరియాలో వర్క్ చేస్తారు. కెమిస్ట్రీ వాళ్ళు సింథసిస్ చేస్తే సింథసిస్ ఏరియా.
మీరు ఈ డిపార్ట్మెంట్. According to you, there is no any discrimination on caste lines. Then he died because of.
ఎవరు ఏ క్యాస్ట్ అని మాకు అది కూడా తెలియదు.
Okay.
అలా అందరం కలిసి ఉంటాం.
మీరు OBC na? Okay. Was there any personal reason you think for his suicide and nothing to do with studies?
అబ్బాయి చాలా సైలెంట్
Silent. Okay.
ఎక్కువ కలిసి ఉండేవాడు, కానీ బాగా మాట్లాడేవాడు, మాతో కలిసి ఉండేవాడు. ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం ఉంటే అన్న ఇది అందరం మాట్లాడేవాళ్ళం. ఇట్లా ఎప్పుడు
Studies.
యాక్టివ్గా ఉండాలని అందరితో బాగా మాతో వాలీబాల్ ఆడేవాడు.
Okay.
సెంట్రల్ ప్లేయర్ మాతో.
Okay. No any personal problem he had.
స్టూడెంట్స్ తోటి అసలు ఏం ప్రాబ్లమ్స్
Faculties తోని మీకు తెలియదు.
ఫ్యాకల్టీస్తో ఏం లేవు.
అది ఎట్లా తెలుసు మీకు?
ఏం లేవంటే సార్ లెటర్ రాసినప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ప్రతి సార్ ఏదో కమ్యూనికేట్ చేసేవారు, మాట్లాడేవారు.
ఓకే. లేదు ఇప్పుడు డైరెక్టర్ 3 months ముందుకి కలిసారంట. 3 months అంతా ముందుకి డైరెక్టర్ వచ్చారు. ఇప్పుడు 1 week or 2 week ముందుగా డైరెక్టర్ దగ్గర కలిసారంట. అది తెలుసా మీకు? మళ్ళీ మీరు ఎట్లా చెప్తారు డైరెక్టర్కి వాడికి డిస్క్రిమినేషన్?
డైరెక్టర్ గురించి మాట్లాడారు. నేను
ఫ్యాకల్టీ. ఓకే. డైరెక్టర్ గురించి మీకు తెలియదు, ఆ రిలేషన్షిప్ మీకు తెలియదు. మళ్ళీ మంచిగా పేపర్స్ అనేవి రాశాడంతా ఒక 3-4.
అన్న అసోసియేషన్ తోటి
ఓకే.
చాలా హెల్ప్ చేశారు కాబట్టి.
ఓకే. అట్లంతా మీరు చెప్పేది ఇండివిజువల్ ఐడియాలా కాదు, ఇద్దరు కలిసి రాశారని చెప్తున్నారా? లేదు,
ఇద్దరు కలిసి రాస్తారు.
ఓకే. పేరు వచ్చి
అతనికి అంత యాక్టివ్గా ఉంటే అతనే సొంత గైడ్ లేకుండా చేయగలరు. ఎవరికైనా గైడ్ కావాలి. ఎంఎస్సీ తర్వాత కొద్దిగా ఆలోచనలు ఏముంటాయి రాయాలంటే మీకు తెలుసు కదా.
మళ్ళీ మీరే చెప్తున్నారు గైడ్ తప్పకుండా కావాలా. అట్లా కావాలంటే గైడ్ 2 years లేదు. మళ్ళీ ఒక స్టూడెంట్స్ ఎక్కడో ఒక గరీబాలు ఎంతో ఒక హోప్లో వస్తున్నారు, గైడ్ లేదంతా చాలా మీరే చెప్తున్నారు కదా. ఇప్పుడు గైడ్ ఒక చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. అట్లా ఉంటే ఇప్పుడు గైడ్ దొరకలేదో ఒక అబ్బాయి ఒక పర్సనల్గా ట్రామటైజ్ అవుతారు కదా.
మీరు కూడా ఫీల్ అవుతారు, నేను కూడా ఫీల్.
అదే వాడు ఫీల్ అవ్వకుండా ఉండొచ్చు కదా. మళ్ళీ గైడ్ రెస్ట్రిక్షన్స్ కూడా ఉండొచ్చు కదా. ఇప్పుడు 2 years 3 yearsలో కంప్లీట్ చేయాలి కదా కోర్స్ వర్క్స్ అన్నాయి. అదే ప్రాబ్లంగా ఉండొచ్చు అని అనుకున్నారా?
ఫస్ట్ మేజర్ ఐడియా ఏముంటుంది, గైడ్ లేక ప్రాబ్లమే.
అది ఒక ప్రాబ్లం.
అదొక ప్రాబ్లం. ఇంట్లో ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం ఉండొచ్చు, అదే తెలియదు నాకు విషయం.
మళ్ళీ గైడ్ ప్రాబ్లం మాత్రం మీకు తెలుసు.
కన్నీ అందరికి తెలిసిన సత్యం.
ఓకే. గైడ్ ప్రాబ్లం చాలా ఉంది.
అయితే
ఈవెన్ ఎంతకంటే అదే ఇష్యూ నడుస్తుంది. కాకపోతే ఏంటంటే డాక్టర్ కంపెనీస్ నడిచింది డైరెక్ట్
వద్దా
చెప్తాను అంటే
for our academic students and all. And the baseline, the bottom part is that we have lost one of our very beloved student and friend. Right? So we have no words to express the kind of grief and profound grief we have had on the sudden demise of this student. Of course, I am from Defense Research and Development Organization. So on behalf of my organization and on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, who is busy in another meeting, I express my confidence, give a self-confidence to this. And before we start anything, I request all of you to please stand up and have a immediately. Because I told yesterday also, the failures and success together makes a rich experience. And that's why university and all everywhere, the 3 years period is kept, Why otherwise everything is a success. The whole thing can be completed into 1 year. But only the experience which is important. Because afterwards we know these students will become guide like ours. They will take up their career. So they should have enough of stamina, enough of fighting spirit to sustain or to absorb, even if there is a failure in experiments and all. Because nothing is failure, no experience is failure. It is only an experience. And these collective things, I'll explain to you just a minute. So I'll come to that thing. So as far as the first PhD is concerned, you see, although I am here only for 3-4 months and all. My job is only DRDO has funded this project to see the progress of the project is satisfactory, and progress can only be made by the active participation of the students. The students, if they don't work on the bench, ultimately the job cannot be done and nothing can be delivered. So it's a national mission. Everybody has to work in unison.
He didn't get the primary
Let him say it now.
It's a this thing that let the narration go on. Why it happened? Let you narrate.
Yes.
Then we'll have if there are any questions. We'll go.
Yes.
Whatever
You may say that the particular faculty is not there, particular this thing is not there, but you see an overall view. Ultimately, a mission has to be accomplished. The mission is that in this particular area, all country is only unique, this center. There is no other work is going on. And as you know, our this thing like Prithvi, Agni and all these missiles, everywhere India is running forward. Now we can say we are different for these things. So we say we have built up enough expertise. Similar expertise in this area in which ACRHEM is working, that want to build up. And that's why for the last, since 2005, the work is going on. And it is unique in the country and maybe one of the best in the whole world. So that's why when we reviewed this all work on 4th of November this month only, in which our Cabinet Secretary was here, Director General was here, and then Chief Controller was here, everybody, we reviewed the progress and we saw, yes, this university has got the potential. And university means it's not the faculty, it's not the staffs, it's only the students. Students are really encouraged, students are really active in participating to delivering something to make our country proud in the eyes of the world. So that's what exactly is the mission. So therefore I am here to see overview. My job is to see that everything is running well. It's not because some faculty is not there here, some machine is not working there. No, overall, this university overall is a potential. It is a central university. It is a university of excellence. That's why center is also called Center of Excellence. And we have deliberated, we have discussed whole day. Your Cabinet Secretary rank, you can imagine, Cabinet Secretary, advisor to Defense Minister, he spent whole day interacting with the students. That day, even students, they made the posters. The Cabinet Secretary, he want and ask questions to, hi, beta, what, kya kar rahe ho, aage kya hai, what is your this thing. So review has been made periodically since my coming over here. There is nothing. So it is continuous, this thing, because we don't care that who is not this thing, who is not there. How together, in unison, together as a team, how can you deliver the mission for which the center has been created?
So you didn't talk about suicide and
just now coming to Venkatesh, Venkatesh case, specific Venkatesh case. Venkatesh case actually that student he joined in 2011.
No, 9. It's 9.
2011. July 2011. July 2011. And since then he was under the guidance supervision of Professor S.P. Tiwari, who was the director of this center. And this director also, he was there up to some middle of 2012. Middle of 2012 he was the director, and later on he became the dean. So it's not that the director and all this. In 2012 itself, the director went to as in charge of this dean. So there is a director, both the director and these things was looked after by from Vice Chancellor sir and this Venugopal officer in charge for all the other routine activities. So for 2012 itself, he shifted to dean. But this continuity of the supervising and all this thing is being continued since 2012. So you cannot say that 3-4 months are like that. 2011 he was recruited. Up to 2012, the director, Professor S.V. Tiwari, was here in this center. And 2012 only he shifted to as a dean. So 2012, but this continuity of this supervision was continued beyond 2012. So just don't come in a conclusion that only 3-4 months are like that. So it has been continued for last 1 year till his retirement. Up to his retirement, he was guiding. So basic thing you try to consider. There was a guide for him who was not a director of this center. He was a dean of the School of Physics, but he continued his guidance. And then this progress was taking place. That progress is reflected very much in publication of the papers. And another thing is that this our Dr. Ravi, who did doctorate under Professor Tiwari, he was associated with the student. So together they have made the publication. So naturally, a director, even my case also, I will be whole day busy in administrative activities. So what I will see, the student doesn't deprived of something like that. I will put a senior student who has worked with me for this day-to-day supervision. That has been done. So it is not that from the July 2013 he has not a guide. He has a guide. He has always a guidance from the immediate senior.
Unofficially.
Not officially.
It will never be officially. Yes, officially, because they have together. They have a publication.
Officially cannot be done.
Publication is a record. Publication means this paper has been forwarded from the office.
No, the publication doesn't mean that he was under the guidance of somebody. It might be a combined effort of both research scholars putting together. But that doesn't make
It is not a research scholar. It is a research associate who has already done doctorate.
But that doesn't make a postdoctoral fellowship eligible for an official supervisor post in a department.
It's not official. It cannot be official.
That's just that clarification.
I know from my experience, I tell you. From my experience, I know. Whenever a new student will join, I also acted this thing. I have opportunity to act as it. See, he has to learn the machine. This Venkatesh used to work on these sophisticated instruments, TGA, DSC and all. This skill cannot be developed right from the day one. He has to learn this instrument first. With whom he will learn the machine? A senior has to be there for teaching. This is a lab manager system.
So was there a senior?
Ravi is senior.
Okay, then he taught him.
Yeah, he's taught him how to run, how to synthesize. Because he is a MSc fellow, he is a very fresh, he doesn't know anything. So somebody has to be there to teach him what is there, how to synthesize, how to do a distillation, how to run on a machine. I tell you, these machines, I myself have gone through the stage. I have done work in India and abroad, everywhere. And the supervisor will say, first you have to learn the machine, then you start the work. Otherwise, he was there every day. What I see that he has worked in that particular TGA, DSC and all. TGA, DSC, nobody will teach him. Even very honestly, I might have learned in my school days, but now I have forgotten. Only the senior student who is immediately he has finished this work, he has finished his doctorate, he knows what are the intricacies. Because over the years, so many developments.
So that how many students in his batch joined, sir? 2011? Along with Venkatesh?
Along with him, another student was there. He's in the School of Mathematics.
Okay, and he has a guide.
Yes.
No. So that 2010 batch, all of them got guide?
2000, yes.
Only he didn't get
in this particular case, there is another student, 2009 batch, Nagendra or something. Say, Nagendra was also this thing working under Professor Tiwari. But of course, he has a physics background and all.
Because
Venu is there.
Nagendra was a student of Ashok Balakrishnan who left the place. So when the faculty leaves, he was transferred to then director Surya Tiwari. Yeah.
So what is happening now? There are two students like this. After retirement of Professor Tiwari, there are two students. The other student, he was little bit, he was also like that. So he said, come forward, sir, I also want to guide. I said, very much, this is the time, April and November meeting is there. So immediately, when he brought to my notice, immediately that day itself, I wrote a note to VC, sir, we have to appoint the doctoral committee to decide on the future course of action.
This is when did it happen?
This happened on 22nd.
22nd of this month.
This month. Because
how Tiwari got treated. Excuse me, sir. How Tiwari allowed to take up a student before retirement, 2 years before?
See, these are all university matters. These are all university. That's I told you.
But sir,
I do not have the necessary background to reply all this.
This is our center. You have your own administration. You have your assistant.
No. But this memorandum of understanding, collaboration is this. All the academic matters will be handled by the university,
including the appointment of a doctor.
Yes.
So if the doctoral committee does not get appointed, you are trying to say that the director of the center has no responsibility about this.
Everything is controlled by the controller of examination. His fellowship, everything, all academic matters is controlled by the university.
No. Fellowship is something to do with it's non-academic matter. Fellowship is some which is administrative. But as a director or as somebody who is supervising the academic area, and as you are saying that somebody who is new to the department, he has to learn the equipment. But I don't think Venkatesh is that I knew that he is poor in handling all the equipments. He has completed his almost this is third year. I don't think anybody who is in the almost last year of the PhD is not well equipped in handling this thing. But as the
no, better admit so.
No.
I told you since month of September also the paper which is published in which Professor Tiwari, Professor Dr. Ravi and Venkatesh is the co-author. So that shows that the.
So what do you mean by 1 minute, sir? What do you mean by co-author? Is it? I've been hearing this. See, always when a Dalit writes an article, you always come and barge on us and say that we don't have capacity. Co-author means, for example, if I want to write an article, will you agree with your stature? No, will you agree?
Co-author.
Co-author means you should treat everybody equally. If, for example, if a director takes Venkatesh to write, it means that not co-author. You should consider him as a credible to be on par with director. That is the way you have to look. Not like he wrote because of him. No. This is completely okay. Can you ask?
Secondly, he is not trained in analytical chemistry. He said that very clearly. He said that he was just helping out with bits and pieces of his work, but he said that even I am not capable of assisting or guiding this person. So basically, I think there are 2-3 very clear questions here, right? First is, how can a person in this kind of a center not have an advisor for so many months? Second question is, how can you just leave this person under the supervision, that too unofficial supervision, of a postdoctoral fellow who technically cannot supervise any student? Third is, you are saying that the university is separate from this center, right? But if I heard you correctly, this vice chancellor was the director of this or had some engagement with the center for a couple of years, right? So how can you draw those kinds of lines? And I mean, you have your own registrar department, I mean, you have your own assistant registrar here, you have the whole administrative setup in this center, right? How are they not cognizant that here is a student who is in his 3rd year of PhD and he still does not have a doctoral committee? I mean, how is this possible? Does this happen to all your students, or is this the only student who
Yes, please.
See,
sir, adding one more point. When you are taking the student for PhD, I think university has asked for some 3 or 4 posts for PhD from chemistry background into this department.
Yes.
When you don't have faculty to guide them, why did you actually choose to give that 5 positions?
Yes. See, 6 people have graduated from ACRHEM till now, out of which 4 are chemistry. We have associate faculty. ACRHEM does not have chemistry faculty of its own. The associate faculty help. They take students through ACRHEM. 4 of them have graduated with help from chemistry department and with help from HMR, Pune. This particular student is a chemistry student. When this student, Professor Tiwari, retired in 2013, around May, there was no chemistry faculty in the center for ACRHEM. So there has to be some supervisor from other chemistry department. We 5 faculty are all physics faculty members. If somebody from chemistry department was ready to take this person, we would have assigned a supervisor then and there. So this process was going on. He was going and discussing with the faculty. He is a 3rd year student. Now you cannot simply take a student, third year, I cannot take a third year student of his area is different, my area is different, his interests are different. We were trying to see who is the closest person who matches this kind of research interest. Then November is the time when doctoral committee meets and decides upon the course of action.
No, sir.
Wait, let me finish. So November is the time I told him his registration was not stopped. I helped him in getting his registration until 31st December. His fellowship was on until 31st December. He was, I could see he was doing good research work, progress was there. So there was no complaint from his side to any one of us at least.
No, sir, he has
Wait, let me finish, please. Please let me finish.
He was not given guides, sir. That is the main complaint of him.
That's what I'm telling you.
He was not allotted the guide.
How can I give a physics guide? Wait, please. Among 5 of us, we are not chemists. If we were capable of guiding a chemistry student, we would have taken him.
But he had Professor Tiwari as his guide
Professor
for 2
Tiwari,
years, who is from physics.
Professor Tiwari has 30 years of research experience.
But he is in physics.
He is elected.
That
It's
means
not.
your
See,
research experience
you have to
is
understand the
that's a
subject.
strange
It
thing
is
to
quantum
say.
chemistry.
Sir,
It's not.
that's a very strange thing to say. Does that mean your research experience is null and void? You don't have any research experience. You are not deemed to guide any student. One point which I'd like to stress here is, in the prospectus you mentioned associated faculty from School of Physics, associated faculty from School of Chemistry. Or it is obvious that when a student reads that prospectus, you have someone to guide from the background of chemistry.
Yes.
Then why didn't the department director guided this student when he does not have any guide from 2.5 years? One point.
No,
Second point is.
No, let them say the second point.
Let me put the points to the director which is there. Now, does he have doctoral committee? Without any appointment of guide, the student will not have any doctoral committee. Without any doctoral committee, how was his reports being submitted to the administration? And third point, when Professor Tiwari has left, Honorable Vice Chancellor was the director of this. When Vice Chancellor himself was the director of this center, when a Dalit boy who does not get any allotment of a guide. And one more question, is there any other student like him who were allotted under a PDF scholar? That's one straightforward question. Another question which I wanted to
Nobody is allotted under a research scholar.
Then why only this person? Why only this student?
He was not allocated under Ravi. Don't get the wrong information.
Can I answer this? See, as he was telling, Professor Tiwari had 2 students. One is Venkatesh, another is Nagendra. In this area, there was no senior. He was working on his own.
Nagendra
was working on his own. Professor Tiwari, when he is retired, there were 2 students, one chemistry and one physics. So in Venkatesh's case, at least Dr. Ravi was there who was helping. But for Nagendra, there was no such help.
No, that doesn't justify anything, sir.
No, I'm not justifying.
The fact still stands, right? The fact still stands that this person did not have anyone from his background for 2-3 years.
No. So let me clarify this. Now, see, there's a very thin line between physics and chemistry. Quantum chemistry, quantum physics. Professor Tiwari is from quantum optics. It's the highest level of optics and he is a very expert in that. And in this university, there is no one who can match his expertise in quantum optics.
In quantum optics?
Yes.
But this person is doing analytical chemistry. I mean, sir, a lot of us here are from science backgrounds. I myself am from a mathematics background. Okay, so it's not like when you are doing a PhD in something like analytical chemistry. It does not mean that someone with 30 years of experience in some quantum optical physics
now you can see he has
is competent enough.
So wait, let him complete, sir.
How can you say that just the number of years, like 30 years of experience in, let's say, something like some kind of physics makes this person eligible for? If that was the case, then why couldn't you predict that Professor Tiwari was going to retire after 2 years? And if anyone from physics department you thought was capable enough to guide a student in analytical chemistry, why couldn't you find some other person from physics department who could have guided this person for 5 years?
I can answer the first part. Dr.
Second
Ravi,
part?
no. I'm saying I can answer first part. I cannot answer the second part.
Okay, yeah.
Dr. Ravi has his degree, as Professor Tiwari has his guide in chemistry. PhD degree. So that answers it.
No, that doesn't answer anything. Just because some person in some, analytical chemistry is a huge area, right? So there might be someone who is working in some subsection of analytical chemistry which is related to what Dr. Tiwari is working on.
That's a different situation.
Even
Systematically, what is
himself said that he has nothing to
and Dr. Ravi himself just said clearly that there is very little overlap between his area of research and Venkatesh's area of research.
Professor Tiwari, the center is on high energy materials. So whoever works in the center is related to high energy materials. Professor Tiwari has sufficient experience in understanding those high energy materials. Analytical chemistry is one tool to study those materials. So Professor Tiwari was capable of supervising that work.
So then why didn't he continue supervising? Why wasn't there a doctor? Why wasn't it official? Why wasn't there a doctoral committee? Why
There
was
is a
it
doctoral committee. There was a doctoral
So
committee.
who are the other people in the doctoral committee?
Professor Tiwari was the only person in doctoral committee and
Sir, one man army here, sir.
Let me finish.
We are all doing PhD. No.
Let me finish. Now, why there was only one person? You ask Professor Tiwari. We are not. We do not know because we have seven students.
Committee by name itself suggests that there should be more than one. How can you have one person as a committee?
But we cannot discuss.
How does the director not know this?
Professor Tiwari is a quantum chemist. How can you guide a PhD student of analytical chemistry, sir?
Sir, you have to ask Professor Tiwari. I told that whatever I understand.
How you accept the
He has already produced a PhD degree, which means it has been accepted.
Sir, is the PhD degree
There is no rule.
not the analytical chemistry?
There is no rule that I cannot grade a student in School of Life Sciences. There is no rule I cannot grade a student.
No, there is, sir. You can't guide on culture studies.
Culture studies I can.
That is what.
Within sciences I can do.
Sir, is there any faculty for analytical chemistry, sir?
What?
In this university?
There is no
Is there any faculty?
in ACRHEM there is no chemistry faculty.
In that university?
Chemistry I am not sure. I don't know. I check this. I don't think there is anybody.
The point is there any faculty in School of Chemistry?
I am telling you, analytical chemistry means it's not purely analytical chemistry. Analytical chemistry is used. For example, the instrument he has told will only give you properties of the materials.
Sir,
material is important.
Sir, we are not asking about the details of the what subject is.
They are asking.
But the thing is, was there anyone who was expertise in the research area of Venkatesh?
Yeah.
If not, then why he was taken as a student as well as after 2 years of completion of Tiwari's professorship, then why he was not elected for 7 months?
You just said on record that you do not know if there is anyone who works in analytical chemistry in the School of Chemistry of this university. And just, a while back you claimed that your center was, doing all that it could to find an advisor for Venkatesh, right? So, these two are very contradictory statements. So this,
wait, sir. It's very important point he's talking. Let him finish.
These two are very contradictory statements. You just now you said that you don't know, you said this on record, you said that you don't know if there is anyone in the School of Chemistry who works in analytical chemistry. But a little while back you had claimed that the center had done all that it could to find a supervisor, a correct kind of supervisor for Venkatesh.
Yeah.
These two are very contradictory stances.
Yeah.
I think this just shows that the center is extremely incompetent, and that, kind of the claim that the director made in his opening speech, that this Agni, Prithvi, etc., these kinds of things, I think they are being run with the, at the cost of Dalit students' lives.
Yes. Sir, one more.
So one more thing you are saying something.
Again, analytical chemistry means he is using the instruments only to understand the materials. The important point is materials here, not the analytical chemistry. You do analytical chemistry, you do synthetic chemistry, you do computational chemistry. Everything is to understand the materials. So a person with materials experience can supervise. He doesn't have to know analytical chemistry. That's why I said Professor Tiwari was good at materials. He understood the materials. The mandate is to understand the materials. That group is looking at chemistry point of view. We physicists are looking at physics point of view of the same materials. Right? Research is not only one direction. We look in all directions. Mathematics group looks at modeling some of the phenomena. You understand? So where does mathematics fit in?
Now let us look from Venkatesh's point of view, who has been passed. Okay, for a point. When we are talking physics point of view, chemistry point of view, let us.
That is true, sir.
Venkatesh's point of view. Sir, Honorable Director, sir, are you aware of this Senthil Kumar report and Pulyala Raju committee report?
He joined in recently, August 2000.
But you might be aware of it, right?
You might, in the sense.
I was aware of the report.
Have you ever? No.
I have not seen.
Not seen, not read.
Not read.
Not read. Sir, note this point. Vice Chancellor have issued all the notices to every dean, schools and all.
We are not the
to
dean.
read.
We are not the dean. We are the faculty.
Even the faculty. No, director, the whole institution should read that. That was the point made by. That was the point made by Honorable VC.
When was that circulated? When was that circulated?
It was not back. Last academic council meeting they have approved, and after that they made it very public and they circulated to the entire notice boards of each and every department, center, standalone centers or whatever the so-called agraharas in this university.
Let me respond.
No, let him complete. Let him complete. No, let him complete, sir. No, how can you forget?
One second.
No, wait, sir. Let him complete.
Sir, listen. 5.11, this point is made by Sir Mr. Senthil Kumar report under the chairmanship of Professor Vinod Pavarala says, overall, there is a need for all faculty members to internalize greater sensitivity about students belonging to the reserved categories, including those from other socially and educationally backward classes. Rather than being impervious to caste and other markers of inequality in our society, it is important to be proactive in mentoring and advising of students who come from less privileged backgrounds, both in the classroom and outside. At a time when access and equality in higher education are the watchwords of the government and the UGC, it is imperative that a top-ranking central institution such as ours take a lead in nurturing and promoting a corps of scientists from among the marginalized sections of our society. Senthil Kumar report. This is Pulyala Raju report under the chairmanship of Professor V. Krishna. The Pavarala committee had recommended that every department, school, center must have a grievance redressal mechanism to which respective students could turn. This recommendation needs to be activated, and the departments, schools, centers urged to constitute such a grievance redressal committee at their level. The existence of the committee should be publicized and made known to all the students.
Okay, now you respond, sir.
Don't you have no other technical language, analytical chemistry, systematic chemistry, all that chemistry? Let us talk from the Venkatesh point of view. Right?
We are the faculty members of this center. If any of these circulation has to come through the deans and heads. The head of the center was Vice Chancellor from 2012 to 2013.
See, are you trying to say that the dean of the center or the vice chancellor who was
in charge
has not circulated this?
No.
We are not. That's a serious allegation you are making against the vice chancellor.
No, even if the paper is not circulated, is it human to behave the way you have done to Venkatesh Babu? Even if the paper is not circulated, does it not?
You have
is
to
it not part of
understand,
your
I was the person, I was the in charge one who was signing his fellowship.
Okay, I think
there was no supervisor. I was helping him
director
to
should
gain the
respond, or else
fellowship.
we'll call Vice Chancellor directly.
See, one thing is there.
Director should respond.
Although I said I came in month of August and all, so it happened in April, and the moment and the fellowship things also, I saw his letter yesterday, that he was asking for a semester registration, continuation of the fellowship, and that has also been taken care of by the officer in charge, right? So apparently there is no interruption in the fellowship, so he was continuing. Now as I told you, these two doctoral committee meets as per the control of examination month of April and month of November. So November the meeting is still due. Once it was brought to our notice that these two students doesn't have a doctoral committee whatsoever, doctoral committee or constitution of this course, immediately this Mr. Venkatesh didn't tell me, but immediately then itself I put up a note to Vice Chancellor, because I am attaching him to this place.
We are diverting the entire issue. The straightforward question, like
don't you think it's a proactive?
In front of you is whether how far the faculty members are sensitive towards the marginalized sections. This was the thing that I put forward, referring the entire committee things. This was the only question I put forward.
Yes, we
That's
all,
it.
we all, we
A
also.
Dalit student doesn't want only fellowship. He requires even the intellectual input too. Then
Yes.
only he can lead forward.
Yes.
He can forward in their intellectual capacity.
Correct, correct. We also guide Dalit students. I have a student, Chaudhary has 2 students. You can ask the students. You can ask the students, take the students' feedback. How sensitive are we towards them?
No, I mean, excuse me. According to the lines of director, he himself admitted, confessed that he had, he just came to this university, just recent. But that cannot be an excuse. That cannot be an excuse for, what had happened in the consequences. And other thing is, as you were addressing in the first initial stages, you were predicted some things like we do not care about the one single faculty or students.
No.
It was like actually aggregate levels we only concern about. That's a flippant comment we take into consideration. And other thing is that as you were trying to address so, you were largely ignoring the social realities and the socio-economic backgrounds of any student. You were only talking technicalities of technicalities of all these things. But please do, what we are asking you to is, it has been a chronic of history. It was like Puliala Raju, and there was course of times which has been happening for some small section of people in this university. And it also reflected in this center also. And we are asking you to, have you ever been acknowledged those things in university which had happened in the past? But you were again getting into the technicalities of your PhD, doctoral thesis, which we are blunder at that. We do not know about those things. We only asking, our political demand is that, why a particular section, whatever they may be the centers, whatever may the departments, why a particular section, people have been deprived and get into some kind of ending his own life. The social connotations behind this are, suicides have never been directly and personal or personality feelings. It's something like social trigger, implications. Something will trigger into these things. And we say that your blurriness, baffledness and ambiguousness in your system have made him confusion. You are saying that there is no need of guide, there is only need of a PDF scholar or something like that. But that guy doesn't know that all those things. And it's your ambiguous nature of your system which had led that guy to just end his life. And you are all responsible. And you yourself has confessed many of those things. Like you are least ignored about the individuals in the department, and your center is just corporate center. You are saying that you are only concerning about the aggregate levels of this center. And you were never concerned about the individuals and the faculties and the problems and the social realities. And that means you are just corporate center. This is not less than that anymore. And please.
Senthil Kumar, when he committed suicide, it was clearly evident that there was caste discrimination in this university. He was not allotted with guide. There were troubles created to him in the name of fellowship, and these are all things which have happened. Now, referring to that, there was a point made in the report itself that as and when the student comes into this university, as and when he takes the admission, he should be allotted with a guide. Guide allotment has been the centrality of the question here. No one, now every friends have been actually complaining that he was telling he was not allotted with any guide. In fact, before getting an allotment with Professor Tiwari, he wrote to many of the faculty, wherein the faculty have declined to take him as a student under them. And then he had to, Tiwari doesn't have any option. He has to take him in. That was a namesake, that was just as a namesake act, he has done that. Now when Tiwari has moved on as a director, he ceases to be the supervisor of him also, because as per the rule, the director has to guide in absence of anyone guiding the student. Now, then Vice Chancellor has come into the center. When Vice Chancellor had occupied the seat of the director of the center, we also questioned him. In fact, it's his moral responsibility to resign to the position of Vice Chancellor, because when he was the vice chancellor of one center, when a student who's from a Dalit background doesn't get an allotment of a supervisor, when he doesn't recognize that fact of non-allotment, it is a grievous mistake committed by him, by any vice chancellor of this country. That's second point. And third point is, he approached you on Friday regarding allotment of guide. Is it true or not?
No, not approach. That we discussed in faculty itself.
No, but he approached you. That was the statements given by certain. No, that was the communication which we have received.
No.
And also,
this is only internal matter. But Mr. Bhenu, we are discussing this thing. Then other student was also there, na? The other student Nagendra. He said that I need this thing. I said this is the right time. We became proactive. Instead of Venkatesh approaches to us, sir, I need a doctoral committee. I myself took that action.
Here one point which we are making is, you have academic council.
He approached the 6 faculties from the chemistry. Then what did he do in this time, in this duration? Now we are talking. Yesterday, sir, we are requesting every Dalit activist. We are requesting, sir. We are requesting these fellows when we are talking with the. Then when we are talking about the issue to the vice chancellor, these people are manipulating everything. These people are saving the administration entirely. When we are talking about all these things,
the student by default the administration should have a record of what the student is doing, what his guide is, what his supervisor, whether he has a doctoral committee or not. But you are entirely washing away your hands by saying that he did not come and meet me. How it is possible? Doesn't the administration have a responsibility to take care of the students? Or is it only students' responsibility that you should go and request every other director who changes and request for new supervisor?
డిపార్ట్మెంటల్ యాబ్సెన్స్ చాలా క్లియర్ కట్ అర్థమైపోయింది. వాళ్ళు ఏ విధంగా నడుస్తున్నారు అన్నది కూడా అర్థమైపోయింది. ఎందుకంటే ఈ పిల్లోడు ఏప్రిల్ నుండి గైడ్గా లేదు, గైడ్ దొరకలేదు. గైడ్ గురించి చాలా మందికి చెప్పుకున్నాడు. బికాస్ ఐఎమ్ జస్ట్ ట్రాన్స్లేటింగ్ ఆల్ థింగ్స్ విచ్ హావ్ హ్యాపెండ్ హియర్. ఇప్పుడు ఏప్రిల్ నుండి గైడ్ లేడు, గైడ్ దొరకలేదు. గైడ్ గురించి చాలా మంది చెప్పుకున్నాడు. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ ఆ పిల్లోడు అడ్మిషన్ తీసుకున్నప్పటి నుండి కూడా ఒక అఫీషియల్ గైడ్ అనేవాళ్ళు లేరు అసలు. చెప్పాలంటే 2.5 సంవత్సరాలు ఆ పిల్లోనికి గైడే లేడు అఫీషియల్ గా గైడ్. ఎందుకంటే ప్రొఫెసర్ తివారీ
Professor Tiwari was one minute, sir, please. Professor Tiwari was guide to Nagendra and guide to Venkateshwar. As you said, since Nagendra was doing on his own, it means that there was no contribution of Mr. Tiwari, Professor Tiwari. So So what you people expected?
Please listen.
No.
Nagendra did on his own after Tiwari retired.
After Tiwari retired. So the same thing was expected from Venkatesh.
No.
It is because of that thing that you people have not allotted him any guide. You people.
I cannot alert supervisor.
You people are very much clear.
Please. I cannot alert supervisor to Venkatesh. Manoj cannot alert supervisor to Venkatesh. There is a process of alerting supervisor.
That's what we are questioning about the process. We are not questioning you. We are not questioning you. We are not questioning you. Because you are here to answer our queries, we are putting these questions to you. Because you are here to clarify our queries, we are putting questions to you.
But there is no doubt.
Now here the allotment of faculty is not coming out from the individual student itself. It is the responsibility of the center or school or department to allot a faculty for the student. That is what, like Dalit student comes, that the same thing has happened in his case. Before Tiwari got allotment of guide, he roamed each and every faculty. Every faculty has rejected him to take him as a supervisor, to guide him. Then Tiwari didn't have any option. Professor Tiwari didn't have any option. He had to take him as a kind of rule.
Capacity of the
He is in the capacity of the director. Yes.
Maximum limit.
In the capacity of the director.
After Tiwari retirement also he can guide the student. What is the wrong?
No. Now
we can continue, sir.
Sir. Tiwari he should not continue. He should not continue. Guide allowed చేయాలి. ఆయన గైడ్ అలౌడ్ చేయాలి. తివారీ అనే అసలు గైడ్ గా ఉండడమే తప్పు ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్. తివారి అని ఆయన గైడ్ గా ఉండడమే ఎస్. ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే సెంటర్ అనేది గైడ్ అలాట్మెంట్ చేయాలి. ఇప్పుడు దీని తర్వాత కూడా సార్ తివారి అలాట్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ప్రొఫెసర్ తివారి when he moved to School of Physics, then also the student has approached many faculties. In fact, it was noted that he approached many of the faculties in School of Chemistry. Where in School of Chemistry also faculties have refused. Now, when a student gets refusal from each and every faculty, when the other parts of his students get guide allotment, under what kind of mental trauma they will be undergoing? ఇప్పుడు ఎట్లాంటి టార్చర్ అనుభవించాలి? ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ నుండి వచ్చిన నాకు గైడ్ అలాట్మెంట్ రాలేదు, నా పక్కన ఉన్న స్టూడెంట్కి గైడ్ అలాట్మెంట్ వచ్చింది, మరి నా లోపల ఏం తప్పు ఉంది? నేను ఒక పేపర్ పబ్లిష్ చేసుకున్నా, ఇంకో 2 పేపర్లు పబ్లిష్ చేయడానికి నేను రాసి పెట్టుకున్నా అంటే నాకు ఒక హోప్ ఉంది, నేను ఒక కెరియర్ని తీసుకెళ్ళగలుగుతాను అని చెప్పేసి ఒక హోప్ ఉంది. ఒక బ్రైట్ స్టూడెంట్ని ఈ కాంటెక్స్ట్లో ఈ సెంటర్ ఒక గైడ్ అలాట్మెంట్ చేయకపోవడం వల్ల చంపేసింది. అది ఫస్ట్ ఫ్యాక్టు. రెండవది, యూనివర్సిటీ వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్ ఈ సెంటర్కి డైరెక్టర్గా ఉన్నా కానీ ఒక విద్యార్థికి గైడ్ అలాట్మెంట్ జరగకపోవడము హేయమైన చర్య. యూనివర్సిటీ ఖండించాలి. he should resign, he should step down as the vice chancellor of this university.
One more thing, sir, when you're talking about technicalities of the entire issue, Professor Tiwari took him as a student, not as in the capacity of a guide in the beginning, but as a capacity of the coordinator or head, whatever the position he was.
Because it's in a compelling situation. See, because there was no other faculty has come forward to accept him as a guide.
From that administration position, it's very legal that he has to go down from the assigned position of the assistant supervisor or anything. Then what about the other coordinator or the head who has taken the position? Even if when you talk about technicalities, it has to apply across the scale equally. When Tiwari stepped down, why he was continued as a supervisor? In what capacity he was continued, and why, in which capacity he was not allotted guide for some 7 months? You have many contradictions and many procedural lapses that have led to the trauma of the student. You yourself are saying one thing and again you are contradicting one. You once, on the one hand, you say that he is a brilliant student, then how he committed suicide? You one hand you say that Tiwari is some expert in the capacity of coordinator, he has taken student. Then when he retired, what happened to him? Illegally he continued as a supervisor. So you accept some illegalities. You don't have answers for all these questions.
No, and
for 3 years, if a student doesn't have a doctoral committee apart from his supervisor, what does it say about the university as well as the institute or this individual institute that is taking place? No doctoral committee apart from a supervisor who was compelled to take him as a student. What kind of research excellence you are expecting from this practices?
No, there is one more point. This whole blurring of lines between what is the university administration and what is the center administration. Like, the moment something goes wrong in the center, it's as if like the common rhetoric is that it's the university administration which is responsible for it. But at the same time, it's the vice chancellor of the university who is in charge of the center. I mean, so I don't understand how are these lines being drawn. I mean, this is just playing around with a person's death. You have to accept the responsibility of the death of a student. The vice chancellor has to accept the responsibility for the death of a student, particularly a student with strong marginalized community, and the entire university has to take this responsibility. How can you just give these kinds of contradictory, excuses, which obviously are flawed? How hard is it to just accept this responsibility?
These excuses are at the cost of a life. A first generation student who has come up with so many expectations to this research, so-called excellent institute, which claims to be excellent and which claims to have some grades and other things.
The name of national unity, which is not for the national
Very expensive. I think we should directly question.
I think you also should be part of this movement. You also should be, you as faculties and also as the director, you also should be part of this movement on caste discrimination which is going on this campus. At least, please realize at the cost of the life of Venkatesh, please realize that there are these hard realities which are existing in this institution. Ulyala Raju committee has clearly noted there is caste discrimination in this campus. Senthil committee has noted there is caste discrimination in this campus. Now the death of Madhur Venkatesh is testifying that, and you should agree with this, and also you because as a director you should take the moral responsibility on student suicide in your own center. Before we come here, you should have resigned from this position. The Vice Chancellor should have resigned because in his tenure he could not provide justice for one student.
So this is the 9th suicide happening in
Yes.
years in this campus.
Sir, if it is your own son or a daughter, will you keep quiet? Say, just think about it. Will you keep quiet if your son or daughter?
That too when we have all the recommendations in front of us.
You won't do that.
Preventive recommendations in front of us.
Use the word discrimination.
Right. There is a discrimination. No, that is Puliara's point of view. Doesn't matter your point of view or my point of view. Why he has died. That actually matters. It is Puliara's point of view we are putting forward. Why he has to die? Why he did not get any supervisor for 7 months? Why he has to go on a supervisor?
Why these both committees should say there should be the greater sensitivity from the faculty side? Is it not the modernized discrimination which has changed its forms, which has changed its entire content? Roopam marindi gaani saram maraledu antam chudandi ide adi.
Because these two reports.
Can I answer? Please let me answer.
No, one thing, sir. Because these two reports raised about caste discrimination, it's because of that thing that university management has not accepted those reports and put to implementation. This is very much clear.
Yes.
Let me answer. I said please don't use the word discrimination for 2 reasons. There are 45 registered students in this center. You can check the records. According to the university reservation policy, there are marginalized community students, there are OBC students, there are general students. Please let me finish. మాట్లాడివరా నన్ను మాట్లాడివరా
స్టూడెంట్ చనిపోయిండు దాని గురించి మాట్లాడండి. ఎందుకు డైరెక్టర్ రాజీనామా చేయాలి, VC కూడా రాజీనామా చేయాలి? ఎందుకు చంపేస్తున్నారని అతను గైడ్ లేడు, కొత్తగా గైడ్ ఇచ్చిండ్రు. ఏం చేస్తున్నారు మీరు? తెలుస్తుంది 9 వరకు యూనివర్సిటీలో జరిగిన మరణాలు ఎస్సీ ఎస్టీ డిస్క్రిమినేషన్ ఉందా అక్కడ అది చెప్పినంత మాత్రం అందుకే అమలు చేయలేదు. కొత్తగా వచ్చిన స్టూడెంట్స్ అందరూ గైడ్ ను సాధించుకుంటారు. ఈ పాత స్టూడెంట్ అతనికి గైడ్ కేటాయించలేదు 3 సంవత్సరాల
Sir, because sir, you are not admitting the fact. There is no point in sitting here and discussing. But we thank
No, but how many SC students are there? Even teaching faculty. Bhaiya na.
Sir, how many teaching faculty? You are understanding, sir. The thing is, you are putting straightforward in the administration point of view. You are not understanding the students' point of view. The same thing we can say. It is that you are in a teacher's position. You are putting your point straightforward that the students are not understanding. We can also say the same thing. The teachers are not understanding.
Okay. Bhaiya. Okay, sir, మీరు చేయండి.
డైరెక్టర్ రాజీనామా చేయాలి ఫస్ట్. VC డైరెక్టర్ రాజీనామా చేయాలి.
Please, silence.
Friends, like all of you, we are also equally agitated. This is not the first suicide that has taken place. As she says, this is the 9th suicide that has taken place. And it is not only the student community that is disturbed here. Society as at large also is disturbed, and all this one belong to a particular marginal section. That's why we feel that it is nothing but feel that though he repudiates, it is a discrimination. We all feel that it is a discrimination. Again, I repeat, discrimination. Because since the 9 deaths that have taken place belong to a particular category, and the society has every right to feel that it is a discrimination. Had you taken sufficient measures, things would have not been taken this turn. That's why we 4 people who have come here represent the Center for Dalit Studies, and even our center is also agitated over this one. I represented the matter to the Vice Chancellor, expressed our concern to the Vice Chancellor also, and I also express our anguish, not concern, anguish, convey to your central government and also to your DRDO that the whole society is agitated over this one. Proper guides should be appointed. Once you take up the admissions, everybody has a right to ask for a guide, and it is a failure on the part of the center not to provide a guide to those people. Reservation does not mean giving the allowance. Reservation means provide the proper competency among the students. That's why I say we have failed to provide sufficient guides to those people, and the boys suffered from that one. Second point is, I wish only to say that had you contacted the chemistry department to appoint a particular staff member for this to fill up those posts. This is a university where all departments are functioning. When all the posts of the physics department are filled up, why not chemistry department people be appointed in their own posts? Why there is a discrimination? Only for the
requested the university authority several times. There was advertisement 2 times. Why it was not filled up, we cannot answer, sir.
I don't question you.
Exactly, but I am telling you.
I question only the university for not appointing it. You are only representing that one. I don't blame these people, but they are also equally responsible for not appointing the chemistry people. That must also, the blame also must be taken. So my only concern, our concern is the whole society is now agitated, and convey our feelings to the DRDO and tell them that to fill up the posts first, fill up all the chemistry posts in the suitable hands, and it shall be the responsibility of the university to provide guide to all the students. It's a right, I say it. Once you accept his admission, it shall be the responsibility of the university. This is what we told the Vice Chancellor also, and also now I am reiterating that. As a teacher, I am reiterating that it is the responsibility of the university to provide guide to everybody who is enrolled here. This is what I feel. This is my reaction, friends. We also
Can I give some information? Because of this guide issue, non-availability of faculty issue, there was no chemistry student admitted last year. And yesterday's meeting, Vice Chancellor has taken a decision. Until the chemistry faculty is appointed, there will be no chemistry students admitted into the center. Yesterday evening it was decided.
Not mean that please, if times are not available, give me 2 days time to get the times. Give me 2 days time to get the, I will get the times from look at the corner of the country and extend our help.
I will pass on this to her.
That's it.
Dear friends, it's very sad.
Friends, he is Dr. A.B. Satyanarayana, retired chemistry professor of Usmania University, and he was in the academic council of Usmania University for a long time.
And now he is heading the Center for Dalit Studies, which is a research organization working among Dalits and marginalized people.
Friends, as a Dalit professor, I have also gone through many traumas, and now I think it is time that we have to raise these issues and ascertain our rights. See, many things have been said so far, guides, chemistry, physics and all those things. We are not concerned of these things. Once if you are admitted as a research scholar, it is the responsibility of the university to fix a guide. How could Tiwari be for 2.5 years as a supervisor? I am surprised. He could have been a guide till the research scholar completes his PhD. There should be some, and I am afraid that this central university, the so-called Center of Excellence, has no SC/ST cell in the administration.
It is there.
I don't know whether it is there. It is a defunct. It is a defunct.
Yeah.
And you know that it is time. And I clearly see, to my knowledge, there is a lot of discrimination that is taking place. And this should go.
In ACRHEM, you mean?
Yes, this should go. And for this, my dear friends, let us ascertain our rights. Let us put, the moment a research scholar is admitted, you should be given a guide, and it should be, because what I find from all the people that talked, Venkatesh, his death was because of the traumatic situation, he had no guide for so many years. And whereas the fresh research scholars were provided guides, that clearly shows that it is a discrimination. That clearly shows that it is a discrimination.
No, they are all from physics.
Whatever it is, I don't bother about the reasons whether it is physics, chemistry or anything. A particular scholar not getting a guide for such a long time. And he was a very scholarly research scholar. He was an intelligent man, he produced papers. For such a research scholar, not providing the guide, I feel the responsibility to both the center and as well as the university vice chancellor. So please, I also share my anguish with all of you, because being myself a Dalit professor, I knew what is what, both inside and outside the universities. But one thing I advise to my young friends, not to be insecure. Have confidence in you. No doubt it is 1 year. It is 1 more year. Let us wait and fight for our rights. And that we come out of this traumatic situation. Let us face it. See, for thousands of years we have been facing this discrimination. Let us face a little more and come out successfully. I share your feelings, and myself I am really very much disturbed with the situation that 8 students of the Central University resorted to suicide. It clearly speaks of discrimination, not anything else, not any reasons I don't want to take, but see that it is in your own hands, and be confident that if not this year, you will get a PhD next year. But a precious life, how parents must be thinking of it. So all these things, my friends, I advise you not to be hasty, not to jump into conclusions. We have still time to fight out for our rights. So once again, my friends, I feel your sharings, being myself a part of this particular community, and see that from next year onwards, no scholar without a guide. This you should take it very seriously, and if possible, take it to the streets also. I will be there with you. No scholar without a supervisor. Whatever the reasons, the administration has to think the reasons, the vice chancellor has to think the reasons, the departments have to think the reasons.
Not only guidance, I will add to that, not is a qualified guide.
Right.
I am a mathematics man. I can guide a physics man. Can I guide a physics man?
So these erratic arrangements, let us try to Blood force.
Physics man only must guide the physics.
A right guide.
So
a qualified guide.
Chemistry man would have been appointed.
So had he been
A
appointed?
qualified guide must be appointed to everybody. Not a guide only, said qualified guide is not asked.
Thank you, friends. Sorry, it happened.
One second. So.
ఇక్కడ 9 మంది విద్యార్థులు ఆత్మహత్యలు చేసుకున్న సందర్భంగా అనేక సార్లు మేము యూనివర్సిటీకి వచ్చాం.
అది చెప్పి నా ఇన్సిడెంట్
ఇప్పుడు ఉదయం నుంచి అన్ని విషయాలు పరిశీలించాం. పరిశీలించిన దాన్ని బట్టి ప్రతిసారి వచ్చినప్పుడల్లా ప్రపంచవ్యాప్తంగా యూనివర్సిటీ గొప్పతనాలు చెప్తున్నారు, కానీ యూనివర్సిటీ ఒక అగ్రహారంగా వర్ధిల్లుతా ఉన్నది. ఇక్కడ ఈ అగ్రహారంలో దళితులకి స్థానాలు లేవు. ఇక్కడ ఆధునిక మనువులు తిరుగాడుతూ ఉన్నారు. ఈ సూపర్వైజర్ ఉన్నారా, డైరెక్టర్ ఉన్నాడా, డైరెక్టర్ ఎలిజిబుల్లా, అవన్నీ కాదు నేను మాట్లాడుతున్నాను. వెంకటేష్ హత్యకి సంబంధించి, హత్య ఆత్మహత్య అనుకోవట్లేదు నేను, వెంకటేష్ హత్యకు సంబంధించి వీసీ డైరెక్టర్ బాధ్యత వహించి, నైతిక బాధ్యత వహించి ఆ పదవులకు రాజీనామా చేయాలి. లేదంటే వీసీ మీద, డైరెక్టర్ మీద ఎస్సీ ఎస్టీ అత్యాచార నిరోధక చట్టం కేసు పెట్టాలని మేము ప్రభుత్వాన్ని డిమాండ్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నాం. ఇక్కడ మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడున్న విద్యార్థులందరికీ నా విజ్ఞప్తి ఏమంటే, ఇక్కడ ఉన్న మనువుల్ని ఎదుర్కోవడానికి ఎవరో ఒకరు ఆత్మహత్య చేసుకుంటేనో, హత్య చేయబడితేనో వచ్చి ఆవేదన చెందడం కాదు, కానీ ఒక బలమైన ఒక ఆర్గనైజేషన్ని శక్తివంతంగా నడిపి ఇటువంటి అరాచకాలను ఎదుర్కోవడానికి సీరియస్ ప్రయత్నం చేయాలి. 2 కమిటీలు వేశారు. 2 కమిటీల నివేదికలు ఇంతవరకు అమలు చేయలేదు. మళ్ళీ ఒక కమిటీ వేస్తారు, ఇంకొక డైరెక్టర్ని వేస్తారు, ఇంకొక ఎలిజిబుల్ ఉన్న డైరెక్టర్ని వేస్తారు అంటారు. ఎలిజిబుల్ డైరెక్టర్ని వేస్తారా అయ్యారా అనేది మీ ప్రఖ్యాతికి సంబంధించి, ప్రపంచవ్యాప్తంగా ప్రఖ్యాతికి, మీ యూనివర్సిటీ ప్రఖ్యాతి గురించి మాట్లాడుకున్నప్పుడు మాట్లాడుకోండి. వెంకటేష్ హత్యకు సంబంధించి సమాధానం ఏం చెప్తారు మీరు? వెంకటేష్ హత్య, ఇంతకుముందు 9 హత్యలు, 8 హత్యలు, ఈ వెంకటేష్ హత్యకు సంబంధించిన మీరు నైతిక బాధ్యత వహించి రాజీనామా చేయాలి. కనీసం ఒక పశ్చాత్తాపం కూడా కనపట్ల మీ దగ్గర. మేమైతే ఎస్సీ అట్రాసిటీస్ యాక్ట్ పెట్టి వీళ్ళిద్దరిని అరెస్ట్ చేయాలి మేము డిమాండ్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నాం. డిమాండ్ చేయకపోతే మేము ప్రైవేట్ కంప్లైంట్ వేస్తాం హైకోర్టులో ప్రైవేట్ కంప్లైంట్ వేస్తాం వీళ్ళు వీసీ మీద, డైరెక్టర్ మీద. ఇంకా మళ్ళీ ఈ యూనివర్సిటీలో ఈ హత్యలు జరగకుండా ఉండడానికి సంబంధించి మా చిన్న ప్రయత్నం చేయడానికి ప్రయత్నం చేస్తాం.
Sir, may I know your introduction, sir?
Me?
Yes, sir.
I am Professor YB Shatya.
No, sir. Go, sir.
Myself is DK Shetua.
Shetua.
Yours, sir?
Venugopal Rao.
Professor.
I am not a professor.
మీరు ఇంట్రెస్ట్ లేకపోవడం కావచ్చు, కన్సర్న్ లేకపోవచ్చు, లేకపోతే అవైలబిలిటీ లేకపోవడం కావచ్చు. స్టూడెంట్స్ కాపీ చదివినప్పుడు మీరు ఎందుకు చదవలేదు?
సార్ నేను చదవలేదు. అది డిస్క్రిమినేషన్ చేద్దామని చదవలేదని కన్ఫ్యూజన్
కేసులో కాకపోవచ్చు, కానీ
అది
జనరల్ డిస్క్రిమినేషన్
వీళ్ళకి చెప్పగానే డిస్క్రిమినేషన్ చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి చదవలేదు. No, I have not read. I am accepting that, but the conclusion you reach is you don't want to read. That's the conclusion. I feel very bad.
వాళ్ళకి ఇప్పుడు అది
ఇప్పుడు మేము స్టూడెంట్
don't take personally, sir. It's a fight against the institution.
లేదు సార్, అది just
It's fight against the department. It's not against you as a
not
person.
against me, but see the kind of words you use.
సార్ నేను చెప్తాను, ఒక సంఘటన జరిగినప్పుడు when this incident took place, there will be so much of scolding, there will be fighting, and emotionality will be there. That and all.
Even I have
See, being the parents of these students, you should.
There are good people.
Sir, you are the quasi parents in the campus for the students. You agree that?
అంటే మీరు ఏం కన్ఫ్యూజన్ సార్? మీరు అసలు పట్టించుకోలేదు, మీ వల్ల చనిపోయాడు, మాకు ఎంత బాధ వేస్తుంది. మా స్టూడెంట్స్ చనిపోయాడు, మాకు బాధ లేదు అని చెప్తున్నారు.
ఇంకొకటి చెప్పనా సార్, పిల్లలు మంచివాడు కాబట్టి యూనివర్సిటీలో డిపార్ట్మెంట్ పగలగొట్ల, యూనివర్సిటీ చెమ్మని పగలగొట్ల, మా యూనివర్సిటీలో మేము మీ పిల్లలు మంచోళ్ళు సార్ నేను చెప్తున్నాను. అది ఎమోషన్ సార్, అది ఎమోషన్. తెలంగాణ ఉద్యమంలో ఎన్ని సంఘటనలు జరిగితే అంతమంది తండ్రి కేశవరావు తండ్రి సార్ సింపుల్ కేసీఆర్ మీరు ఆడేశారు సార్. ఏమంటారు మీరు ఆ ఛాంపియన్ తెలంగాణ ఎమోషన్ అప్పుడు మీరు ఎమోషన్కి వచ్చినటువంటి డోంట్ టేక్ ఇట్ టు హార్ట్. దట్స్ వాట్ మై అపీల్. పర్సనల్గా ఏది తీసుకోండి పిల్లలు ఆవేదన అర్థం చేసుకుంటారు. ఫ్యాక్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్యాక్ట్స్ బికమ్ దేర్ ఆన్ పేపర్.
About 8 and 9 months, I was with that Venkas. I was with them. I was a roommate each person. In beginning times, he was facing problems related to guide. Totally department are saying, you have come from a category department. You have come category. Scheduled caste, you are not able to do PhD here, but he has a scholarship also, CSIR. He was very hard worker. He told me, I want to leave. I told one my friend Biswajit Jena, he was living front of our room. He told, you don't leave, you should complain VC, yeah, there are some Dalit student organization. But he told, okay, I will say, if I will face problem, I will say, and I will take a Dalit student organization. But one day he told, I will solve self problem. On his own. But after I shifted here, NX, and one day he told, I have get one guides. He was not permanent faculty.
He's not a permanent faculty.
Yeah, but
He's a PDF.
Sunday he do suicide. I meet his now who are present now his roommate. He told me he is facing same problem, guide problem.
He's also facing the same problem.
So only guide problem he is responsible for
his
suicide. He was very hard worker. He study always time in room and lab, always time live in lab. So related to guides, his suicide. He is very poor family. He give introduction about his family. His father came in room also. I know his father.
So this who said that you came from category?
His supervisor told.
Who was the supervisor that in charge?
Supervisor, related to he told me. He supervisor told.
Okay.
You are not able to do research.
Oh.
Okay. He told me with me and other friend Biswajit Jena. He know very well.
Okay.
He was living. He is from English department. So we told don't leave. We should complain VC. But this problem was not solved till now. So he want to say me, I want to become great scientist. But I think he felt that he can't do. Guide are not supporting, so so he maybe failed. Then he suicide.
And he published article. He's a good student.
He was very hard worker.
Hard worker means how?
He to live always time in lab, and in night always time study. Night whole night till 1 o'clock he study, and he to live in a lab always time.
Actually he works 16 to 18 hours a week.
So he was very hard worker.
Okay. What is your name?
Deepak Shah.
Deepak Shah.
Deepak Shah.
Okay. From Delhi. Which department?
Social exclusion and inclusion policy.
Oh, that is why you are courageously speaking, eh? I thought you are from ACRHEM.
He is our friend and he is very
okay. So there is a big caste discrimination you feel?
He told me that I am facing caste discrimination. They are demoralizing. They are not saying, they are demoralizing. You have come category, you can't do here PhD here. So he told me I want to leave this university because they are demoralized. But we encourage their encourage you should do PhD here. Don't leave there.
There are many Dalit organizations here.
Yes, sir.
Why didn't they approach?
I told, but he told me I don't want to take risk. I don't want to do conflict with supervisor.
Oh.
So he felt fear.
Okay.